What up, fam? Matt Lacer over yonder distances. Aslan Hajavandi, thanks for being here. Signing Day Central. I don't know, we really are. Everybody says they're Signing Day Central. We like to think we are. Warchant.com, Ultimate Seminoles Sports Source. Hit the thumbs up. Certainly would appreciate that. Join the website as well. That's where all the good information is. It's behind the paywall. All the stuff that Matt's out there working with, all the DMs, the tweets, getting all the lowdown. It's all behind the paywall. Matt, you know what's going on the streets. I do not. Interpret this for me. I saw this last night or like yesterday afternoon. I'm like, what is this? What does this mean? What's going on with Jayvan Boggs? Break this down for me.
So to me, normally in the meme, he just posted the meme raw, right? Like, no, normally there's a picture on each button or like something different color or something. Yeah. I think the two red buttons signify UCF and then Gus going to FSU. It just could be is my thought. That was my thought when I saw it. Yeah. And he can't decide between the two, right? That's got to be my guess.
Yeah. Well, decision was made. He's now a Florida State Seminole, one-time UCF commit. I mean, look at these stats too. My gosh. This guy was Mr. Football in the state of Florida last year as a junior. 93 catches, 1,500 yards, 24 touchdowns. And I'm not up to date with my Florida high school state championships, but I think that was part of a back-to-back run of titles. So this is a guy that's produced at a really high level for a top caliber program. And he's part of the Florida State fold now, Matt. So how excited are you? How excited should Florida State fans be about Jayvan Boggs, despite maybe not having any kind of 5-star super duper designation, as Corey Clark would say?
Yeah, so I mean, this is a kid who they came in on late, like very late, like only a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago is when he got the offer, a little bit more than that. But it was always a kid that we would talk on the bench when all of us media people talk and all of us recruiting people was like, we never knew why they didn't really offer him. Because this is a kid originally, he was committed to Ohio State and then Mizzou and then UCF. So he's obviously like anyone at any point in their time, if they're committed to Ohio State, they're normally a pretty good receiver. That's wide receiver U. Think about all the wide receivers that have come out of there and all the wide receivers that go there. There's a reason why we couldn't pull Jeremiah Smith out of there last year. It's just because of how good it is. And I mean, that's the kind of talent level we're looking at here. And for him to stick even with Ron Dugan's getting fired, because he visited, I believe, the week before Ron Dugan's got fired. So whatever game that was for the Notre Dame game was when he visited and Dugan's was still here. And he actually locked down his recruitment a few days before his head coach, Gus Malzahn, came up to Tallahassee.
All right, I wanted to ask you about that. You know, he hasn't coached the game yet. He hasn't called one single play, but not sure if we can say Gus is 1-0. How much do you think of Gus choosing to come to Florida State was a large, I mean, you want to give me a percentage, maybe I don't want to call it a blame pie, but a celebratory slice of pie from what happened here for Boggs? I mean, how much of it do you think is because Gus ended up coming to Tallahassee?
I think it played a huge role. I don't want to say 100%, but I want to think that's pretty high because he shut down his recruitment. He said he was going to sign with UCF days before signing day. I might have been just a day before Gus got announced. So it might have been that Friday. I'd have to look to be completely sure. But, when things shift that quickly with the head coaching and you can go follow the head coach, you got to put it all on that coach, right? You don't really have a choice there. And I think with Dugans being gone, because Dugans was the guy there as well, really, I don't see another reason why he would have come.
You mentioned the Ohio State connection. That's always kind of a good litmus test of a dude and kind of lets you know, all right, if you're going to gatekeep, all right, if he made it past that one, he's a legitimate guy. We did get onto the radar late for a lot of people down here in Tallahassee that follow Florida State recruiting. What kind of stuff did you find out, I guess, when you had to quickly research and get familiar with him and his game that makes you feel really good about his prospects as a future star here at the next level?
He's just super athletic, right? I mean, he's not really that big body guy that you want. He's kind of a smaller, speedy kind of type, which, I mean, Florida State has a lot of, but now they're going more towards big body. You're going to need that guy in the slot. You got to replace Ja'Kai Douglas with somebody right now because he's been the only one really catching anything all year. I mean, just look really athletic, really fast. And again, in a really good program, like you mentioned, Coco, I always pronounce it wrong because I think someone got mad at me last year on the live stream for pronouncing it wrong. But think about Florida State.
Yeah, Coco.
Is it Coco?
Yeah,
is it Coco? The A at the end always confused me.
But
You know, you got Keziah Holmes out of there, Richie Leonard, who's going to be blocking, not directly for him, but there as well. You got a lot of guys. Brady Hart is quarterback. Let's go to Texas A&M and reclassified there. Like Javion Hilson, you got a lot of guys out of that area, and so they're always normally well developed and really talented.
Yeah, solid program. Jayvan Boggs again, Mr. Florida football last year. They used to mean something to people in my elk, Matt. It was always a big deal who was Mr. Florida when it came to football. So good to know that Florida State's got another one. Jayvan Boggs, 6 foot even, 200 pounds from Cocoa Beach. Is it Cocoa an actual city? People in Cocoa, let me know. I always call it Cocoa Beach, but maybe it's like Panama City, where it's Panama City Beach and there's Panama City. It's an actual 2 separate thing. But we do know talented player, part of the 2025 class. We're stoked for it. We being Matt Lasser, myself, Aslan Hajavandi. Hit the thumbs up on the way out, everybody. Stay connected to warchant.com. Thanks for doing this, Matt.